Welcome back, you powerful gaming entities. Yet another exciting day of Let's Playing. Today we're going to be playing Last Year for a couple reasons. One, it's a good game. Two, it's kind of a unique and interesting game. And three, I'm checking the player base here and we're looking at 282 on average. So the player base count is going down. And I don't know if I'll get a chance much longer to keep recording this game. So figured might as well jump on the wagon now. What is Last Year? Well, it is an asymmetric survival game where, well, depending on which side you play, it's a survival game, where one player plays as up to 3 monsters and tries to kill 5 human players who are all trying to escape from a given scenario. Now, immediately, when people hear this concept, myself included, they jump onto this and say, oh, it's a Dead by Daylight clone. Well, fair. I mean, we live in a world where this kind of game type is dominated by Dead by Daylight, so it's almost impossible not to immediately compare the two. However, Last Year, guys, it's... Okay, I don't want to burn bridges here, but I enjoy playing Last Year more than Dead by Daylight. By a lot. See, Dead by Daylight is technically, mechanically more competitive in the sense that it is this tightly knit series of mechanics that are all interacting very hard in a very crisp and angular method in each game. You know, you think the statistics, okay, it takes me 8 seconds to loop around this pallet, it takes me 4 seconds to vault this window and catch up with this character, this is an infinite loop, I have to stay away from this, I need to, do I guard generate, you know, Dead by Daylight, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad game at all. I've played, let me just quickly check here. What's my Dead by Daylight time? Wow, of course Steam's taking for 129 hours. So obviously I am not bagging on Dead by Daylight. But Last Year's more fun. And here's why. Instead of just babbling, I should probably start clicking into things and showing you guys. So in Last Year, you play as these survivors, similar to Dead by... Well, I don't even want to say similar to Dead by Daylight. I feel like that's going to immediately go down a rabbit hole. Let me tell you what Dead by Daylight is actually more similar to. It is a combination of... Dead by Daylight, Last Year. Let me tell you what Last Year is so more similar to. It is a combination of the asymmetry and the setting of Dead by Daylight, while it also maintains the similar monster aspects of Left 4 Dead, and at the same... Oh, there was another game. Hang on. Oh, Team Fortress. It's almost like if you took Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead, and Dead by Daylight, and put it all into one game, you'd get Last Year. And again, frankly, that just makes for a more fun game. I'm not trying to say that Last Year is mechanically more complicated, but it's just more fun. And I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go into the survivors here. We've got a couple of them. So the survivor you pick doesn't matter. It used to matter. You chose, back when this game was released on Discord, you chose the survivor, and that survivor had a class attached to them, and then you played that class. There were 5 classes, 5 human survivors in a game, so you can kind of see how that lined up. Everyone chooses a unique character and they get a unique class. They axed one of the classes when they brought it over to Steam because it was too powerful, and they removed the character class restriction. So you can just choose whoever you want. It doesn't matter. They all have their own little backstory, and they're fun. It's done for the memes, right? This is Chad. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the Chad meme. But, like, these are all supposed to be very stereotypical characters from the 90s, give or take. And it's done in a fun way. Chad is more dumb than a douchebag. Amber is more uptight than a snob. So they took the stereotypes, but they kind of took the positive aspects of the characters. Because even when, like... So in the game, you'll rescue characters. So, like, if Nick rescues Chad or Chad rescues Nick, he's not like, haha, like, next time I'll throw you in a locker or something like that. He's more just like, Chad will say something really dumb, like, huh, I'm really good at rescuing people. I'm doing a bad impression of it. You know, Nick makes all sorts of bad D&D puns, that kind of stuff. So it's surprisingly lighthearted, because I actually expected it to be pretty mean-spirited. But yeah, so you can choose your characters here. Then you have your Arcanum. Now the Arcanum, well, let's go over currency. Each game you play earns you tokens and cards. Cards are dependent on how many characters escape, and tokens are more dependent on things like, did you rescue players? Did you... Now, keep in mind, I'm saying all of this from the side of the survivors, because I don't really play Killer. I played like 1 or 2 games, and it's nice. I don't have as much information on Killer. Anyway, tokens for survivors are earned by doing things like rescuing your teammates, killing the killer. Yes, you can actually fight back against the killer as compared to Dead by Daylight. Shocker. Oh, I suppose there's a comparison to be made with this game to Friday the 13th, but I've never played Friday the 13th. Anyway, whew, I need to slow down. I'm getting excited. Tokens are earned for doing good actions in the game. Stash is earned for actually kind of winning the game. It's dependent on how many characters escape, more or less. Tokens are used in the Arcanum. The Arcanum is kind of similar to the Blood Web in Dead by Daylight, but not really. What you do is you work your way through this singular web, and you unlock different skills and things like that. And then they come over here and you equip them as spells. And essentially they are a one game use power. I think they recharge, but like if you use them in the game, they're gone. You don't get them back. But yeah, so you use them in the game. You can equip 2 of them, and they are finite, and they cost a lot to unlock. Like, I've actually been looking at buying this Healing Hands ability because I love to play medic. So we're just going to go ahead and buy that. And see, we're going to unlock this for 1,500. You see the numbers go down there, and then it comes over here in our spells. And now we can equip this like that. Now, if we equip this and don't use it, it won't go away. You have to activate spells. But if we activate it, then we don't get to keep it after the round is over. And you can also see, because you have limited charges, you can buy extra charges to equip more of them later, but they're significantly less expensive. I think probably the most expensive things are going to be your 8,000s like that. Oh, Vigorous is pretty expensive at 8,000. You heal over time. The spells themselves are... and really quickly, I should probably preface this with, I'd like to go over all the mechanics now. So if that's not your thing, I guess I've kind of already started going into that, but I apologies, let me back up. If mechanics aren't your thing, if going detailed and explaining piece by piece of the game is not your thing, fast forward or watch a different video. I don't know, man, this is what I do. Okay. So, spells come in 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 spells come back very quickly. Level 2 spells take a little longer. Level 3 spells take the longest. However, in general, level 3 spells have a more powerful effect. Level 2 spells have a medium effect, and level 1 spells have a light effect. They also tend to be cheaper. The level 1 spells tend to cost less. I don't know. I've not really rotated using spells into my gameplay yet. I've only been playing this... Let me see here. Let me check my count. I've only been playing this about 26 hours, and probably some of that is idle time, so probably closer to about 15 or 20. So I'm not a master at the game by any means. However, I just haven't felt pressure to use spells yet. I think once I start experimenting with them, I'll get better at them. But you earn tokens to unlock spells rather slowly. If you factor in the cost to just buy them back, it's quite cheap. You'll easily earn 1,000 coins in a match, so you can see how you could easily replace your existing spells. But I've kind of just been saving up and buying things to unlock, and I figured once I have everything unlocked, then I'll go back and start testing them out. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with them. However, I think they are pretty useful, some of them here. Like, I really see myself using Healing Hands, heal others and yourself more efficiently. I don't know if that means it uses less medkit charges. We'll get into that later. But here's kind of the thing about last year. It's a little underground. And what I mean by that is, I told you the average player count in the last 282 days was... 30 days was 282. the game, it does not have an explosive player base, and so there is no data source to tell us specifically what certain spells, what certain gear does, the percentages on like stats. You can find the last year wiki, but it is half wrong and half right, and then half the data just isn't even on there. Yes, I know that's 150%. See, in order to truly understand last year, you have to understand it was released first on Discord for about a year, where there were those changes that I said got made when it was ported to Steam about 2 months ago. Good gravy. Sorry guys, I keep knocking my mic. Really need to reposition my pop guard. Anyway, so it's a fairly new game, not to mention the player base is small, not to mention the fact that the wiki is filled with like half outdated information, and then data on the spells themselves is just completely not there. So I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can, because hands down, if you take one thing away from this video, you should give last year a try. If you like playing asymmetrical PvP multiplayer games, I guess that was a little redundant, give last year a chance, because I think it's good. I think it's a really good game. I think it's very underappreciated, or at least there just isn't a lot of people playing it right now. That being said, if you're the kind of person who gets worried, like, oh no, the player base is small, how long does it take to find matches? It doesn't take very long. If you're playing Survivor, it does not take long to find matches. Just like Dead by Daylight, if you're playing Killer, it can take a little longer, but really, if you're, yeah, it's 282 is plenty. Okay. So, where were we? We were talking about spells. You can also burn spells. I kind of want to try doing that. What? I don't really care about giving characters more HP after recovering them when they're incapacitated. That almost never happens. Let's burn this one. Oh, so burning spells apparently just gets you a bit of a refund back on them if you just decided you didn't want them. Last thing on the web here are these locks. They're basically things that you can do within the game. They're like, how do you want to call it? They're not perks. Achievements. They're kind of like little achievements you can get in the game. And once you do them, you can unlock the lock. You see here, this one we have to kill the killer while we're in the escape mode. Escape mode is when you open the last door and you have a minute to escape. You see, we've only done that 7 out of 10 times. Dream Team. We'll get into that one in just a minute. Apparently I've unlocked Slapshot, which is hit the killer with a hockey stick. I don't remember doing that, but all you do is you just hold, and then you just unlock them like that, and then you can go ahead and keep moving down the tree. Anyway, Dream Team. Dream Team is probably the most frustrating achievements and one everyone on the forums complains about. Dream Team means you have to get from beginning of the game to the end of the game where nobody dies. The game is not built for that. The game very clearly intends for the survivors to die multiple times. The reason I say multiple times is because in the game you can go rescue players after they've died. Yeah, I know. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Kind of like Left 4 Dead. So yeah, you see here I've had 1 out of 3 Dream Team. The only time I got that was when the killer AFK'd and just didn't show up for the entire match. So I guess if you have 4 other friends, you're really good at the game, go for it, but maybe don't stress out about Dream Team. What you get from it is a skin. That's more or less the Arcanum. You can also customize characters by going through all of their clothing. Most of the clothing is purchasable, except for generally one at the very end that is considered a legendary skin. I actually like this. I like that a lot of the skins can't be bought, and they tend to be the cooler looking ones. Like, let's pick a different character, and you can kind of see what I mean. How do I go back? Okay, I think like Raj has like a goofy one here, where he's got this neon. Yeah, he looks like a skeleton. The legendary skins tend to be a little more. Although there is that one. That one's pretty funny. Regardless, enough looking at shirtless Raj. all of the characters have different costumes. Doing better in the game gives you a better chance of unlocking legendary costumes. So it's this fun little thing of you're kind of incentivized to play a little better, so you get a better chance to unlocking legendary gear. All of the weapons and items that your characters will equip in the game also have skins, as well as legendary skins. You buy these with these cards. I personally haven't bought anything because I don't really care what my skins are, but they're there. That's what you spend cards on. I don't think there's really a need to go too deep into this. All of these items are class dependent, so if you play a certain class, like I play a lot of medics, so you know, maybe I should buy a medic skin or something. Other than that, that's it. We can go check the killer. It's pretty much the same concept here. You have your 4 killers to choose from, and then various skins which can be bought with those cards again, and then a couple legendary skins which can't be bought. So yes, I know I have arachnophobia. However, this spider does not look real enough to actually scare me. That face is hilarious to me. So kudos to that. The spiders in this game don't move realistically enough to actually scare me. Alright. Wait, whoops. Anyway, we'll be playing Survivor today. Nick is my OG. I tend to just... I love the chess master and D&D nerd. It's just hard not to play as him. At first, I hated him. I think he's probably the least played character because he just looks a little cringy, but his lines are so bad that I can't not play as him. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a game. Hopefully, we get a good game. You do sometimes get games... Okay, so to explain this now, the game is P2P. It's client-hosted, and the client, unfortunately, is the killer. Which means... You know, if you're living on one side of the country and your client is in Antarctica, then sad thing is your ping is going to be high. There's nothing you can do about that. They also recently introduced a patch that penalizes you from leaving a game. This is a double-edged sword because typically if I ran into a game and I had a ping of like 1,000, I would just leave because, you know, either that guy's got bad internet or he really does live in Antarctica and I just don't feel like fooling with it. But that also led into the situation where people really weren't penalized for leaving, so people would bop in and out of the game without really any penalties, and that could get frustrating when you want to just sit down and play a good game, and your survivors, like a survivor dies and they just leave because they're like, I died, I don't want to play anymore. So that can't happen anymore because now if you leave too many times, you can't queue up for a game, and I think that's fair. I think in general you're getting more than you're losing. You are losing the freedom of being able to leave a bad match, but you still also I think it's better for the health of the game overall. Otherwise, again, you can see here our queue time has been what, like a minute. We've got our 5 characters. It's probably just loading the game now. Yeah, that's fine. That's not a bad queue time. Again, I've heard that playing as killer takes a little longer. I haven't played enough killer to really get a good feel for it. There are 3 maps in the game. This one is the bell tower. This one involves us getting... Oh, is this the one with blow torches, or is that... Yeah, I think we need to get a bunch of blow torches, open up a door, and then go up to a tower, fix the doors on the tower with some gears, and then we escape out the top. It's pretty cool. The maps are really good. There's just only 3 of them. And don't let that scare you. The maps themselves, they're designed well. They look interesting. They look way more interesting than Dead by Daylight's maps. Like, there's actual assets in the maps. They're themed. They look good. There's, like, places to go. There's, well, and the reason you would want to go to different places on a map is to acquire scrap. We're going to play Medic because it's the class I'm the most familiar with, and I feel like if I play a different class, I'm not really going to be able to talk and explain the game and play at the same time. Disclaimer, I am no master at this game, so truly, you know, don't expect AAA grade play here.
Use those to open up the sewer doors.
I don't know why it's so dark.
Then we gotta get the doors open.
We're supposed to be able to see our characters.
After that,
but for some reason the screen is really dark and we couldn't see anyone there. Actually, I feel like I'm gonna raise the gamma just a little bit here. I feel like I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing. Okay. So every game starts out where everyone picks their class and you start out in the same room, and you will notice, okay, here's the hardest pill to swallow. Do you see how jumpy this is? Partially that's probably due to my ping. My ping is 160. Not great ping by any means. This isn't League of Legends. This isn't StarCraft. You don't need the world's best ping to still play a decent game. So don't be too upset if you're hopping around a little bit. And this is actually a really bad game. Like, we're hopping around here even more than normal, which is a little disappointing. Oh, sounds like the killer is... Oh, yeah, there's the killer. Because so the killer is Spider. The killer gets to choose 3... Or the person playing as killer gets to choose 3 of the 4 killers, and then can rotate around them. We're going to try and save our friend here. It's probably not going to work. It's a bad idea for us to try and fight because we are the medic. This guy is an assault. We're going to go ahead and heal him over ourselves because he's going to need to be the fighter here. We're going to try and keep his health up while also keeping our... Okay, well, he didn't really seem like he knew what he was doing, so... We're going to run because he just died. So it's one player... And this is what I mean. The survivors are very outpowered. They are not going to... A single survivor, even 2 survivors, really cannot fight the killer. But if all 5 are working as a team and they gang up on the killer, there's a good chance that that the killer is just going to get destroyed. If the 5 players are playing as a team. Which I think is really great. I think that's kind of the problem about Dead by Daylight as well. You really aren't incentivized to play as a team in Dead by Daylight. You're kind of incentivized just to screw over your friends and, you know, keep yourself safe or farm altruism by taking the worst player on and off the hook over and over again, that kind of stuff. I'm really not where we should be right now. But yeah, in this game, you are really incentivized to play as a team. Largely because you just can't do things on your own in this game. There's no pallet looping. There's no, like, single player, like, with all the skill can infinitely mess with the killer and that kind of stuff. It really just doesn't work that way. So again, this is a much more teamwork-oriented game. Now, I keep getting off on tangents and I don't get a chance to explain what I'm trying to say. The hardest pill to swallow in this game is the jumpiness. You will see we've kind of evened out. It seems like our ping dropped. Oh no, our ping increased to 200. Anyway, the game seems to have settled down a little bit. The jumpiness isn't quite there as much as it used to be, but it's still there. It's just something you have to get used to while you're playing the game, and a large part of that I think is because it's peer-to-peer. And I know Dead by Daylight is also peer-to-peer, so that can't be like the only reason, but yeah, it just doesn't seem quite as optimized, and I will admit that's something that, not that Dead by Daylight is perfect either, because there's plenty of times in games where you're playing and your, you know, your killer in Dead by Daylight is running the game on a toaster, and you just lag everywhere. But you can see here, in general, there's almost kind of a constant glitchiness in this game. You see how the characters are kind of bouncing off of each other and that kind of stuff. You get used to it, like I said. And if you can get used to that, that's the worst part of the game. Like, after you get used to that, the worst is over. You only have the rest of the game to enjoy. Now you see here, we're running around and holding space on things. What we're doing is we're collecting scrap. And now scrap is what we use to build all... Oh, great. Yeah, we got cornered here. That's okay. Jumping is a very easy tactic to use against the spider. Her or it or his, I'm not really sure. Vision is very low to the ground, so if you jump against the spider, it's very hard for the spider to hurt you. Now we're going to go off on our own for 2 reasons. We're going to try and rescue this character over here. Also, we're hedging our bets. The spider can only go after one of us. He can either prevent the objective, which is that blue dot over there, from being completed, or he can come over here and assassinate me to prevent me from rescuing this person. So either way, the survivors get something out of this, which is why sometimes splitting off on your own is a good idea, even though it's more dangerous. There are also, they're not really teleporters, but there are vents hidden around certain maps. Well, all the maps, I think. They can take you to locations quickly. This should take us closer to the objective. Or at least I thought it did. Oh no, it took us further away. They must have either dropped the blowtorch, or they successfully used it, and now... I think this Raj character is kind of new. He's kind of acting like he doesn't really know what he's doing. Anyway, looks like we killed the spider. Now the giant is here. Like, Raj is probably dead. No, he didn't land on the trap, so he's fine. Oof. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That Raj is dead. We're just gonna escape. The giant is interesting. So the killer, as far as I know, can't swap to a different killer until the current killer they're playing as dies. So it means that our party killed the spider, which is good. And then there's a cooldown. So the person playing as killer can't choose the spider again for a little while. And so they decided to choose their other killer, which was the giant. The giant is an interesting character. He has a lot of counterplay on both sides. Okay, again, we're gonna go rescue. I'm gonna let these guys do the objective because it's easier for me to talk and rescue people rather than trying to focus on the objective. Anyway, so the giant is slow. He won't catch up to a survivor if, there's a trapdoor. I was hoping that would actually take us down, but it didn't. We'll get into trapdoors in a bit. Sometimes they drop, sometimes they don't. It's just dependent on whether the killer has trapped them or not, which can sometimes oddly be to your advantage because you want to go down. I don't know. Anyway, so the giant is slower than a survivor in general, especially if the survivor is sprinting. Oh shoot, this isn't where I wanted to be. Oh well, since we're here, we might as well loot the place. Giant slower than killer, unless the giant uses its special ability. It has two special abilities. One of them, it can pick up a survivor and throw them. If he throws them into another survivor, it also deals extra damage. Well, damage to the survivor it landed into is what I mean. But also, he has a charge ability, which does make him move faster than the survivor. But it's kind of like the hillbilly from Dead by Daylight. You can't turn very easily, and if you run into something, you get stunned for a little bit. So the giant excels in two areas. He excels in straightaways. He also excels, so like straight hallways is a bad place to be as the survivor against the giant. Also, places where you can get pushed off, or rather thrown off of a tall building, that's going to be a place where the giant is really dangerous, because he'll just pick you up. And now we're going to go ahead and taser the giant. Hopefully our party capitalizes on it. They did not. And that's fine. That's kind of how playing the medic goes. A little bit like support in Dead by Day, or what am I trying to say? A little bit like support in League of Legends. Sometimes if your party isn't... Oh my gosh, Raj, get out of the way. If your party isn't playing very well, then you're kind of a little bit gimped as the medic, and that's fine. You just get used to it. Again, I don't know why I prefer to play medic. I think I just like looking out for everyone, making sure everyone's healed. Also, I kind of feel like, in general, a lot of people who play medic don't play medic very well. They are just never healing at people, not optimizing their medkit charges. It's kind of frustrating, so I don't know. I guess that's why I play medic. We'll get into the other classes later, but for now we'll focus on just kind of going piece by piece. We've explained the giant, we've explained the killer. We'll go ahead and go into medkit charges. Medkit charges, you see there, I think we've got 10 of them. Each charge down below, each little, you see it's filling up there. Each charge will heal 10 HP, but you have to completely wait for the circle to fill like that. So you can also heal yourself. There's no penalty for healing yourself. So you can have also selfish medics. Oh boy, we got Spider again. So Spider shoots out... Oh, one of our party members closed the door right in Nick's face there. Or no, we're Nick. Who's that guy? Brian? Does it tell us? No, it doesn't even... Wait, there it is. Troy. His name is Troy. I don't really pay attention to the names when I'm playing off camera, but anyway, so Spider has basically kind of two abilities. One ability is they shoot acid, as you see that they're doing right now. Oh gosh. All right, we're gonna try and run in here and heal our assault so that she can fight. We're gonna get we're out of charges. What we should have done is crafted a Okay, good. The spider's leaving us alone. What we should have done is crafted one of these tasers while I was battling, and that would have been a big help in that fight. Anyway, the spider can shoot acid, so the spider's really good if the survivors are grouping up, because that acid is kind of like AoE. It's AoE and DOT, so if the survivors are grouped up, they're gonna get sprayed with acid. And it sucks because it really drains medkit charges. It doesn't deal a ton of damage all at once. It looks like we do have a dead spider. Ugh, gruesome. We do have a dead spider, but... Oh, crap. That was dumb of me. I saw that and then just thought, yeah, I'll just keep walking forward. Anyway, that's a trapdoor. Oftentimes, trapdoor falling down is lethal like that. However, after a little while, you stand up and regain 35 HP. I know. There's so many things we're trying to hit all at once right now that I keep jumping around to other different things. Anyway, okay, so Spider's good in group, if the survivors are grouping. And secondary ability is when the Spider dies, it explodes into a ball of acid that obviously deals damage to everyone in the area. That's not good. So we're gonna go this way. Killer swap back to the giant. Okay, we've gone over medkit charges. Let's go over medic items. So looks like she swapped over to medic. I don't know if she was medic at the very beginning of the game, but that's good. It's almost never a bad thing to have 2 medics. Medic craftables are the taser, which you saw in action, the flashlight, which is useless, and the pipe bomb. So typically, medics want to spend their resources on either the pipe bomb or the taser. And I don't think either is necessarily better. I think they're just different. The taser is better for... What is Sam doing? The taser is obviously better for a team that is working very well together, because what it does is it kind of stuns someone for about 5 seconds. Sometimes it feels shorter than 5 seconds. I'm not sure exactly how it works. But so the taser stun, and if your team capitalizes on the taser stun, typically it can be better than the pipe bomb. I also prefer the taser because you can't hit your party with the pipe bomb, or with it, whereas you can hit your party with the taser. Pipe bomb is exactly what it sounds like. You pull it back. It's exactly like the pipe bombs in Left 4 Dead. You pull it back, okay, the giants abducted someone. You can't really save them, it's kind of annoying. You just have to sit here and let this happen. So we'll try and heal her. She got hit by a trap. We're going to rescue her out of the trap. Doesn't look like it was any good. This giant's going to try and throw her into us. He missed. I'm trying to heal her to get her up. Okay, so we kind of sacrificed herself a little bit there to rescue her, and that's fine. Hopefully she'll be smart enough to just run from this point. I don't think the giant can really catch us, as long as she runs. Okay, we'll go ahead and heal ourselves. Rule number 1 about medic, don't be afraid to heal yourself. If you are no good to your team if you are 1 hit away from death. The killer, it's actually very clever the way the mechanics work. The killer gains a lot just by killing one of you. And the reason for that is that when one of you dies, they can, or rather when one of you enters, oh, I'm in her way. She's punching me to get me out of her way. Anyway, so when the killer kills one person or drops them down to critical health, they can do an execute. And the execute makes them invincible. So what ends up happening is they can commit the execute. They don't take any damage while they're executing, and then they can pop into this invisible realm called Predator mode. And Predator mode is this really cool thing. It really separates last year from any other horror game. The most similar thing you would see is Left 4 Dead. There was a very kind of similar thing in Left 4 Dead, but it's still not quite the same. In Predator mode, oh dear, yeah, okay. I didn't see him coming there. He tried to throw us into the trapdoor, he kind of goofed it. He dropped himself into the trapdoor and then let us go with only 20 HP damage, which is A-okay. We're gonna go ahead and go up here. I think we need to try to... Oh, okay. See, that's that Predator mode that we were talking about. See how he just suddenly was in front of us, even though he was behind us? And that's fine, because it kind of gives the killer this otherworldly aspect where they're able to just be, you never know quite where they are. They're going to be around the corner. It can be a little frustrating when you first start playing because you might not understand that that's what's happening. But as long as you're just calm about it, it's totally fine. It's not a really big deal. But we're going to go ahead in here and... Oh, that's the pipe bomb sound. There we go. So you remember how I said that the pipe bomb is like Left 4 Dead, and that's precisely why you heard it beeps and then it explodes. The idea is to cook the bomb by holding it in your hand and throw it in the last second at the killer, so you get this. It does a lot of damage. The problem is, as you see here, It also does team damage, and our medic killed Raj. Not that Raj was any great attribute, or attribute is the wrong word. What are we trying to say here? Not that Raj was any great asset to the team, but there you have it. So the games have a 16-minute time limit, and what has happened here is the time limit has passed, and what we need to do now is somehow get to the end of all the objectives while at the same time healing, while at the same time escaping and doing all of the objectives that are left. We don't have enough time, so no one's really interested in trying to do anything other than just run around at this point. Nice! She killed the giant. That's another 50 coins for every time the killer dies, but... or somewhere around there, 50 or 100. Anyway, we're not going to be able to finish this, so none of us... yeah, what we would have needed to have done is grabbed the gear, stuck it into here, and then gone up here and turned another crank. Whew, sorry for that information overload. That was a lot to go over. I thought I was going to be able to do it a lot faster, but I didn't quite realize there's quite a lot of information to go over in this game. Alright, so even if you die, even if no one survives, you still get a pity prize. Now don't be fooled, down here it says you get a 5% chance of legendary skin. If 0 players escape, you have a 0% chance of getting a legendary skin. It's a little misleading there. However, as long as at least one person escapes, you get 5%. Let's go back to that summary. I didn't want to do, or the cards. You get 5, 5, 10, 10, and then 15%. They recently changed that. It used to be 1%, 5%, and 10%. People complain, so now it's a little bit higher to make things a little easier. That was our first game of last year. Wow, I feel like I was just talking a mile a minute there. What were some things that we didn't get to go over? Okay, pipe bomb, you cook it. Okay, there's equal opportunity, equal rights, I should say, to use pipe bomb or the stunner, the shocker, taser. I prefer to use the taser because you're not going to kill your party members with it. I also prefer to play as a team, even though that's kind of dumb sometimes when you're playing with randos, because sometimes you just get people who don't play very well as a team. Also, we weren't exactly supporting our team the best either, because I was very distracted trying to analyze everything while we were playing, and we were making some pretty suboptimal moves. What else could we have said? Okay, so again, after 16 minutes, the game ends. Normally, you always have a crank. That's the very last objective in all of the 3 maps. And what you do is you crank that all the way up to 100%. What happens is then, no matter how much time was left in the map, it immediately goes down to 1 minute left, and everyone has to make a mad dash for the exit. That's typically when the killer has to try and puppy guard the exit for a minute, with varying degrees of success. Believe it or not, it's not really that hard. It's very balanced. When you understand how the game is played, it's quite balanced, because the typical strategy for survivors is rescue everyone, so you have 5 people, kill the killer, then immediately crank up the crank, and then just escape with all 5. Is typically the way it goes. Now, that doesn't always, you don't always have the option of doing that, especially if party members are dying left and right. Sometimes you just got to make the call, you crank it even if all your party members are dead, and you're just trying to escape with what you have. But yeah, that's last year. We'll go ahead and keep playing. I'm going to take a very quick break to rest my voice, but and we'll try and play a more normal game where we focus on actually winning. Yeah, and real quick before I forget, quick shout outs to my brother, I don't know how he says his name anymore. It's either Zephra or Zephre. He keeps changing it, or at least he changed it when he was a little kid. Gosh, I shouldn't say that. He wasn't a little kid, he was just... I'm being weird. Alright, so my bro Zephre, I think that's how you say his name, said he was gonna cut me out of the family if I didn't play this. So, or buy it and play it with him. And I was, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be garbage. I looked at it and I was like, this game is going to be trash. It's a Dead by Daylight ripoff. It's trying to grab onto the horror survival hype train. My apologies, because he was totally right. This is nothing like Dead by Daylight, or at least it's very much different enough from Dead by Daylight that I wouldn't consider this a ripoff. I would consider this an alternative. And again, I just have more fun playing this. This is a much less frustrating game, because frankly, first off, there is no survivor play in Dead by Daylight. Like, Survivors are actually NPCs, because why would anyone play Survivor in Dead by Daylight? Why would anyone want to play a game where all you do is hold mouse 1 and push the spacebar occasionally? Like, come on. I know that's hyperbole, but yeah, so I only ever played Killer in Dead by Daylight because it's so boring to play Survivor. And whereas in this one, they actually makes playing Survivor fun. And okay, so we didn't get to go into it, but there's a lot of neat tricks also to playing Killer. We didn't talk about it looks like we've got the bell tower level again, which is fine. We didn't talk about what am I trying to say? Kill spots or kill zones. I don't know what their official name is. There are certain sections on the map where a killer can hide in them. And what it does is it lets them instantly kill a survivor. Now that might not sound fair, but believe it or not, there's quite a bit of counterplay around it. The reason being is certain killers can only hide in certain kill spots. So once a survivor knows who the killer is, they know to stay away from certain spots. Also, there's usually a visual indicator that kind of gives you a hint as to where a kill zone is. Oh yeah, that's pretty common actually. The killer comes out. Oh, he's charging. We're gonna pull a hard left because the weakness of the giant is being able to just dodge left and right. Because when he charges, you just move left and right, and that will make it so he can't catch you. Anyway, he didn't catch us, but he drove us away from the objective, which is where I was headed. So indirectly, he succeeded, at least in driving us away a little bit, and splitting us off from the party. So that's interesting. But yeah, that outhouse is a prime spot for killers to spawn in. It's a pretty popular location. It's hilarious when the spider comes out of it, because yes, the spider somehow can fit in that outhouse, and there's nothing more terrifying than a massive spider coming out of an outhouse being like, oh, hello, do you have any toilet paper? I appear to be out. So that's pretty funny. Okay, I said we were going to focus on actually trying to win this time, so let's focus a little more on the game. We have two options. I personally prefer to play rescue more than I prefer to play objectives. So we're gonna go off and rescue this guy over in the green. Being down to 4 players isn't too bad, but it can quickly snowball out of hand. Because when you think about it, when you're down to 4 players, you're kind of actually down to 3, because the killer is going to occupy one of the players' times. And when you're down to 3 players, you only have 2. 2 is really rough. So really, if you have 5 to 4 players, the survivors are fine. But it makes me nervous even having just 1. What was she? Oh, she was running away from the giant. Ooh, we got picked up there. That was a little glitchy. I'm not really sure what happened there. I think what happened is the giant picked up preppy girl. What's her name? Amber. Giant picked up Amber and threw her into us. It lagged out a little bit, and then the giant got enough damage on us to enter us into this dying state. It's not even a dying state. It's more of just a like an injured state. You get out, as long as you don't take damage, you'll move out of the dying state. What is Chad doing? I think Chad is possibly not playing the game. Yeah, this is probably going to be a TKO or a TPK, total party kill. TPK. Oh, looks like he's back now. Anyway, when you're in that injured state, as long as you don't take damage... Why did he craft another pipe bomb? He already has one.
This might help.
Oh, I bet he's a newbie. And that's totally fine. A lot of people get upset, you know, with new players, but unless we get new players into the game, we're not going to have anyone playing the game. So he's probably, like, figuring out what the buttons are or adjusting his settings or something. I don't know. We don't want to get the lever penalty, so we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I guess he just DC'd. Wow. Alright, then. Not really sure what was going on there. Yeah, a lot of people are really negative if you're not amazing at this game, but every multiplayer PvP game is like that. There's no matchmaking in this game, which I don't really mind. I don't really need to know my my last year rank or anything like that. I enjoy just playing with random people. It's a lot more casual. Yeah, I don't mind it. Largely because I don't feel like this is a very frustrating game most of the time. Now there are some times where I get a little frustrated, but it's usually because like survivors are giving up more than anything. I think that's my biggest problem. It's not really that anyone's a douchebag or anything like that, although the chat can get a little spicy at times. It's mostly just like when people give up, and I'm like, come on, it's a team game. Everybody should keep trying, but whatever. It doesn't happen that often, and the games are short enough, and I think they have a really good balance of like just enough skill in the game that you can definitely improve your game and make good choices and really have kind of control over strategy. Like the more strategical you are, the better you're going to do at the game. But the game is also not so obtusely complicated that you have to like focus non-stop on what you're doing. I mean, it's a pretty simple game. You pick up junk, you build junk, you pick up blowtorches and keys, and you open doors. It's not rocket science. So anyway, it's not surprising we the longer we play, if this, I don't know how long I'm going to record this, if I'll do more episodes, or I really just wanted to do a video that just was able to play before I hope the player base doesn't die. I mean, a lot of people on the forums are like doomsayers, and they're like, the world is ending, last year was dead on arrival, all this stuff, and who knows, right? It could be, the player base could stagnate, it could stay the same. Well, that's what stagnate means. It could get smaller, could get bigger, it could explode in popularity one day, it could die suddenly one day, who knows? Just enjoy what you have while you have it here. So I'm having fun with it, but yeah, again, I just wanted to do a video before, on the off chance that the player base suddenly evaporates one day. We at least have a little bit of footage of last year here.
Then we gotta get the doors open.
Oh wow, it's the bell tower again. That's kind of funny. Anyway, we're gonna play medic again. Hopefully we just get a little bit over a game. We're not gonna fight. A lot of times players will fight each other for scrap in that room. I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna let them take it. We'll go out here and look for our own scrap. The bell tower has a rough start, I feel like, for the survivors. There's not a very clear direction. Also, those what we're doing is we're looking for blowtorches, and those blowtorches can spawn randomly. So I really don't like the start of bell tower, because the survivors are really, it's almost like they're kind of guaranteed to be scattered, because there isn't a single objective that everyone can count on and just move towards. For instance, the gymnasium is probably my favorite, because it starts out with a scripted crank that you have to pull or rotate, and that it's always going to be in that spot, so all the survivors know what to do at the beginning. It kind of helps cohese them together. Whereas bell tower is rough, because there's not a lot of scrap in any one location in the bell tower, and it kind of and the random spawning at the beginning of the bell tower, I should say, and all the random spawning makes it difficult for players to play as a team when they're randos. So typically everyone just kind of splits up and does their own thing, which is what we're doing. It does kind of maximize your scrap collection, so that's a thing, I guess. Can we jump up here? No, can't jump up there. That's fine. Just like any game like this, you need to learn the maps. That just comes with time. I certainly do not have a perfect memorization of the maps, but let me tell you, early on, I was wandering around like an idiot without a single clue as to what to do or where to go. I'm a little better now. A little better. Crap, I was trying to reset my mic. I accidentally used healing hands. Maybe we can shoot. Okay, that was our fault. Well, I say fault. I was trying to heal Troy there. The healing can be a little troublesome if there's a lot of movement and action, you have to hold down on the medkit button for a little while. And what your character does, you see here, they follow the character as they heal. They do that automatically. You don't have to, and it's pretty reliable. There are very few actual bugs that cause problems when your character... I wouldn't even call it bugs. This is more like an interaction. Like if you're healing someone and someone takes a sharp turn, you might get stuck behind a wall, and you won't follow them anymore. The big problem is that right there, what you just saw. We were trying to heal Nick, but the lag kind of disconnected us, which is sort of what happened with Troy when we were trying to heal Troy earlier. I was trying to heal Troy, and because of the lag, it didn't count as us targeting him, so we started to heal ourselves. You can tell because your character will bend over. It's a little frustrating, a little annoying. Usually always easier to heal players after combat or after the danger has started, which I guess no big surprise there. Anyway, we have picked up the propane. This might be a bad idea. I don't know. I'm usually pretty garbage at doing objectives. I think we might be going the wrong way. No, okay, this is the right way. Oh crap, that sounded like the giant. Okay, so the giant is behind us. We're just going to keep going and hope for the best. They're just going to have to keep him busy. Looks like we lost someone. But we still have 4 players, so we're good. 12 minutes to remain. Not great. I would have ideally... Okay, so the killer... Yeah. So you saw those traps that got put down right in front of us? That means the killer is there. We probably should have jumped off the gate there. I'm going to try to... Okay, see... Sort of the other problem. I was trying to sprint, but because... We might actually live here. No? Okay, that's a death. I was trying to sprint, but because of the lag... Again, this is sort of the problem. And it is related to the whole jumpiness of the game. In order to sprint, you have to hold down the sprint key. But if you hold down the sprint key while you've already held down the sprint key, as odd as that sounds, like if you hit it twice... You won't be sprinting even though you have the shift key held down. So the lag can create these kind of weird situations where you're trying to sprint away, but the game hasn't recognized that you're pressing the sprint key, so you're incentivized to hit it twice, except maybe you actually were sprinting the first time and you didn't realize it, so suddenly now you're not sprinting because you've pressed it again, and it causes problems. Same thing was causing problems when we were trying to heal characters in combat. You do have to kind of learn to work around it. Okay, so we got 2 party members dead, 3 remaining. This guy, Easebug, I think I've seen him before. I'm pretty sure he's decent. Because the player base is only about 300 players, well, it's probably a little more than 300. It's just that only about 230 are on at a time. Nice. So that was a smoke bomb and a... Very nice. Smoke bomb, Molotov, and... Or something that lit him on fire. I'm not sure who... Maybe Amber threw a Molotov. I didn't see it happen. Smoke bomb, Molotov, and turret. Smoke bomb prevents the killer from really doing anything. Looks like we're gonna get rescued here. We'll try and do a little better. Go ahead and heal Amber. She's pretty low. Go ahead and use... I don't know what this does. This healing hands ability? It activates for 20 seconds. We can reuse it. You saw there it came back. But now since we've used it once, it'll disappear at the end of the match. But again, like, big deal, is 250 coins. Anyway, so we haven't really talked about these traps. So these traps keep popping up. You can disarm them by holding space. What happens is, while the killer is in Predator mode, I should say, while they're in Predator mode, they're invisible. They're invisible and they can move all around the map. It's pretty awesome. We just saved Amber there, that's good. Oh, nah. We saved her, but the guy axed her again. While in Predator mode, the killer is invisible, they travel super fast, and they can go kind of anywhere. I think they can also fly, but they can only spawn in on places that make sense, like the ground and stuff like that. Go ahead and heal Nick here. Nick probably knows more of what he's doing than I do, so hopefully we'll have a better shot here. Ah, we're just a little bit short on the scrap. Crap. We need one more scrap to craft a taser. I don't trust myself with a pipe bomb. Anyway, so when the killer's in predator mode, they can lay down these traps. Is all that is. So if you're walking around and suddenly you see some traps spawn in front of you, you can be guaranteed that the killer is nearby. And so it's usually a good idea to be very careful because the killer can spawn in. Killer can't spawn in anywhere that the players are looking, I think is what it is. I think it might be looking. I really need to play killer a little bit more so I understand it. Because if it is looking that causes the killer not to be able to spawn in, then it's very much to your advantage to have multiple players looking in multiple directions. Oh, see, there's traps there, but there weren't earlier. I don't want to go that way. I'm going to go this way, because I'm going to assume that the giant is probably out there waiting for us. Or no, he's not playing the giant, he's playing the slasher. Okay, so the slasher, I don't know much about the slasher because almost no one plays him. He's kind of the vanilla killer. He doesn't really do anything specifically well. He doesn't do anything specifically bad. He's just kind of your average killer. I don't even know what the slasher's ability is. I know what his kill zones are. He jumps out of skylights, so you can look up and be careful that you're not standing underneath a skylight. Otherwise, he's just kind of average. I think, which also leads to a lot of people not really playing him. So once we get the door open, like they did there, that gate opens, so dummies like me who were nowhere close to the action can at least catch up with everyone.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so we want a gear. There's a gear all the way over here. We're gonna go ahead and try this. We're gonna grab this. At the very least, this causes a distraction, right? So, like, that's kind of how you have to think about it. Even if you fail at getting the objective to wherever it needs to go, you're at least being distracting to the killer. So it forces the killer to make a choice. That's kind of how the survivors win, right? They either have to team up and kill the killer and be a very well-coordinated team, or they have to constantly split the killer's attention, because the killer can only be in... Oh, that was great. Wonderful, Amber. So Amber accidentally fell down a hole while we were healing her, and that led to us both falling down, because, as you've seen, you automatically follow whoever you're healing. I'm going to go ahead and activate this ability. Does this heal us more? Oh, I see. We heal a little bit more when we have this active. That's pretty good. Okay, okay, Raj has the gear. Anyway, yeah, so basic strategies for the survivors is... Oh, see, he dropped the gear, and the killer's now, like, chasing after him. He's like, oh, I'm going to stop him using the gear. Well, we were there, so we're just going to go ahead and pick this up and put it back in. Ow! Alright. We're going to drop the gear. We're down to 10 HP. Things aren't looking good. So the gear will despawn if... It will despawn if one of the survivors doesn't go up and pick it up. Oh, major lag. So we're going to go ahead and try and pretend like we're going to go up and grab it. Because the killer's incentivized to stay up there. And what that's going to do is it's going to give our other party time to go rescue that other guy. Yeah, see, the killer's hanging around here. He doesn't want to go stop the people who are rescuing. And this is kind of funny because we're like right behind him. Oh, nice. That guy just dropped a smoke bomb. That's amazing. So survivors can crouch in a smoke bomb and still do things, whereas the killer can't. We're almost dead. I kind of want to save our medkit charges. I know we're almost dead. We really should heal. I'm gonna save our medkit charges until our spell comes back. And we're gonna use the... Oh no! Right behind us. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I was going to try and do a super heal. I guess we should have just played it safe and healed us, but oh well. That's unfortunate because now our team is down a medic as well as they're going to have to go save us. I want my soda. Hang on. Did I ever finish my train of thought about Zephyr? Anyway, all I was trying to say was Zephyr was right. That's a fun game. Okay, we're getting rescued. How much time left do we have? We have that last gear. That last gear is tough. Oh, they got it already. Yeah, you can see. So that little kind of boxy symbol, that blue boxy symbol that's telling us to go up there, that is the kind of like escape symbol. That's the escape gate. That's the last objective in any map. We're gonna go ahead and craft another taser. Not that we've ever been using them this match. We keep dying. Oh, so when you die, okay, let's go over items real quick. So you can only hold one in most scenarios you can only hold one craftable item at a time. So we can only hold oh gosh, we're gonna have to go over that too. The killer while in predator mode can trap certain scrap spots, and then we get gassed like this and we have to walk around. While you're gassed, your controls are inverted, your mouse is inverted, everything is inverted. Wait, did the killer die? Holy crap! Okay, it's go time. It's go time. We gotta go. We gotta go up and turn that crank. Is it 99? It isn't even 99. Okay, we're gonna go 99 the crank. Oh gosh. Okay, so you can crouch over traps and it won't trigger them. That's what we're gonna do there. So, what 99ing is you turn up the crank all the way up, so that way the next time the killer dies, you can just run up here and tap it. So what we're gonna do now, oh my gosh, Troy is an idiot, and decided, I guess, that now is the time to go. I don't know why he did that. So we're not prepared for this. I don't think we have the full party here. We're gonna have to find a way to do this. Yeah. Gosh. So we're gonna have to find a way to get up here and either kill the giant. Okay, so the place has been smoked, and I think we made it. So I think our technician threw a smoke bomb. Yeah, Troy doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't crouch over the traps. So somebody keeps throwing endless smoke bombs, and what's happening is the killer can't do anything. So we're all just escaping through the hatch, except Troy, who didn't realize he needed to crouch, which is fine. I mean, he's probably just new. So if Troy had just crouched there, he would have escaped. We would have had a 5-man escape. I think we got a 4-man escape. No, 2-man escape. Oh right, because one of them was already dead. I think Amber was already dead to begin with. Right when Troy opened up the gate. Yeah, typically the strat there is to 99 it like I had done, and then rescue everyone, kill the killer one more time, and then just escape scot-free. But you take what you can get. We got a lot of coins in that one because the game went so long. We did so many things. That one wasn't too bad. That was a pretty good match, actually. In general. Not every match goes that well. I feel like it's always kind of fair for both sides. I feel like 2 to 3 survivors escape and the killer, because that way the killer gets some, the survivors get some. It's not a wash. Anyway, I think we have enough time. I'm just gonna keep going. Go another round. But yeah, did we... What else? Oh, we were talking about items. Okay, so you can really, in general, you can only ever hold one craftable item. So you can only hold one taser or one pipe bomb. Never both. And never 2 tasers or 2 pipe bombs or whatever. Certain items that you can craft are equipable. So the flashlight for the medic, which is straight garbage, by the way. It's just a flashlight. Like, it's pointless. You don't need the flashlight. In fact, if anything, it just gives your location away to the killer. The flashlight costs 5 scrap, and you can craft it, but it's equipable, so it doesn't count as an item that you're holding. So you can have a flashlight and a pipe bomb, or a flashlight and a taser. Same thing with the assault class, so there's assault, medic, which you're very familiar with because it's the one we've been playing. Then there's scout, and then there's technician. There used to be a class called support, but they got rid of it because it was too powerful, or it just made the game too easy for a very good group of survivors. The assault can craft a football helmet and equip it, so the football helmet doesn't count. But they can also craft like a bat or a Molotov, and they obviously can't equip both a bat and a Molotov. There are also weapons scattered about the maps. They recently added both a cricket bat and there's another one, maybe a crowbar or something. They added 2. There used to always be a hockey stick. Now there's also a cricket bat. And another one. I can't remember what the other one is. You can only hold one of those. So you couldn't hold a hockey stick and a pipe bomb. Because those count as, like, holdable items. You also always have your default item. For the medic, it's the... Wow, I don't know why, but the text here isn't loading. There's supposed to be a map that Troy's looking over when he's explaining, like, what the team needs to do. Is this the gym? No, this is the library. Okay, so we got library. Library is neat. It's also one where the objectives are random at the beginning. I guess really only the gym has a scripted objective that's always the same at the beginning. I'd have to say the gym is a little easier, I think, for the survivors. It seems to be a little more straightforward and a little less random. Especially because right after you do the first objective, I'm trying to think, and the second objective is also scripted. It's all less random. Anyway. So, yeah, typically you can only ever hold one item, and then if you die, you drop your item on death. But anyone can pick up your item. In fact, that's a strategy oftentimes, is if Assault will craft a football helmet, and if they already have a football helmet, they'll drop it. And what that does is it lets other people pick up and wear your football helmet. Now, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen the Strangler at all. The Strangler is kind of... Well, no, I think we saw the Strangler in the first game, didn't we? But, like, he died really quickly and we didn't really... Oh, that sound effect? That's the Strangler. Okay, so you remember the smokers from... Oh, gosh, that sounded juicy. Okay, we're gonna run in here and try and help out. Can I heal her, maybe? Oh, nope. That's our assault. We need to heal our assault. Alright, this is great. I think... Yeah, okay. So you see how easily the Strangler died? That's not a normal representation of the Strangler. The Strangler, just like the Spider excels when the survivors are grouped up together, the Strangler excels when survivors are scattered. And when you're playing a game with randoms, chances are your party's going to be a lot more scattered because, well, it's just natural. People who don't know each other aren't going to stick around with each other. They're not going to know, you know, exactly what each other's good at. They're not going to... Oh, shoot. That was trapped. That was dumb of me. I probably should have... Oh, that is not good. That's the giant. Okay. We're going to try and run over here and... Oh, nope! Trying to sneak in and grab that disc. I'm gonna try and heal our assault here. Oh gosh. Nope. We don't want to be a liability. That's the other problem. This is why it's self-preservation is not a selfish thing in this game. So you see what happened there. We died. And then what that does is it gives the giant or the killer a chance to reset. And so self-preservation is not a selfish thing to do in last year. Because if you die, you're really bringing the team down a lot more than if you try to stick around and be a hero. Because the moment that you die is the moment that, well, the killer can do a couple things. They can do the instant execute so they become invincible. It also gives them an immediate chance to evaporate into predator mode. Normally the killer cannot go into predator mode if there are survivors looking at him. And that's why it was so hilarious earlier when the Strangler died. I didn't really get a chance to talk about what the Strangler does. But if you think, really quickly, if you think Smoker from Left 4 Dead, you've got the general concept. And so the Strangler excels when the party is split up, because what he does the Smoker thing, where he, instead of a tongue, it's a chain. So he throws a chain out and grabs survivors and pulls them close and then strangles them. Done correctly, it's pretty much an auto kill against anyone who's alone. However, if the party is grouped up, the Strangler is super weak. Super weak. And that's what makes him fair. So, you know, when the party hears, oh crap, there's a Strangler out, they really need to group up. When the party hears, oh crap, there's a Spider, they need to spread out a little bit. And the reason that the Strangler has so much trouble... Oh crap. Okay, we tried to juke it, but we weren't able to there. I didn't realize the giant was right next to us. We're gonna try and run away and heal, hopefully. I'm gonna try and weave. Yeah, we wove in between there, made it a little difficult for him to catch us. He ran into a wall. I think we're safe on these stairs. I don't think he's gonna be able to actually catch us, because he can go ahead and charge, but he's gonna be running into the walls and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and take this chance to heal. Okay, we're gonna go. See, he charged. We're just gonna jump down here. It's a free escape. Alright, let's talk about spider spawns really quickly. So you notice that there's spiders all over the map. The spiders will be here even if the killer doesn't choose spider. Now this green thing, they spawn spiders. If you hit it 3 times, it'll blow up and you'll get a lot of scrap from it. Or, well, a decent amount of scrap. It's like anywhere between like 3 and 4, I think. Anyway. So yeah, when you're as a group against the Strangler, what happens is when your friends are grabbed, you can use the interaction. What is that? You can use the that might be a proximity mine. You can use the interaction button to rescue your friends. So what happens is the survivors want to. Oh, that's an instant kill. That's unfortunate. We'll talk about instant kills after I finally finish my thought on the Strangler. So survivors push the interact button and it immediately frees them. So the joke is that the Strangler is weak to the F key. Now I have it rebound to spacebar for me because I found that to be easier to move rather than reaching my fingers over to hit the F key. But yeah, the joke is the Strangler is weak to the F key because all you do is survivors group up and mash it. And Strangler can't really do anything. Strangler also has the lowest HP pool. So what often happens is what we saw at the beginning of this match, which is hilarious to see because the killer's supposed to be threatening. What happened is everyone just ganged up on him because as long as you're looking at him, he can't escape into predator mode, and as long as the team is working together, he can't really use his ability. And so what happens is you see a bunch of teenage high schoolers ganging up on a hobo, hitting him with pipes and stuff, and it's just funny. Anyway, Strangler is also more often the character that everyone on the forum complains about and says is overpowered. And the reason is because people don't want to play the game strategically. They want to play the game the way they want to play the game. And so what they do is, you know, a lot of the people who don't want to play as a team, who want to be the lone wolf, who goes off and does everything on their own, never helps the team out, what happens is they fight against the Strangler, and they get chained, and then they just die. And they can't really do anything because that's how the Strangler works. The Strangler kind of just guarantees an assassination against single targets. And yeah, I think that's fair because he's very weak when the survivors are grouped together. He's the perfect counter, the perfect yin to the spider's yang, you know? And it's fair. It's a game. It's a team game. The survivors should have to work as a team at certain points. Also, if you know, like in our instance, we heard the giant stomping around, so the giant is probably the one who's out there, unless our team killed him, in which case we need to be a little careful. But if you know that the killer isn't the Strangler, then you don't have to worry about going out. You can go out and do your whole lone wolf thing and never have to... Oh gosh, we're the last one alive. I've been babbling far too much. We're probably dead here. We're probably going to come up here and try and rescue this guy, and the killer's going to spawn in and just kill us. Yeah, there's the Strangler. Alright, so there's not a whole lot we can do here. The Strangler is the perfect killer to have in this scenario. Yeah. Not surprising. Oh wow, we live with 1 HP. That's fine. I probably really wasn't. A lot of people, I think that a lot of killers like to do as the Strangler is kind of be a little dumb with the Strangler. They'll manipulate the player's position with the chain and like drag them around the map and that kind of thing. So it can be kind of obnoxious if you get a douchey strangler who's just like scumming it up and really laying it on thick. You know, you see some kind of questionable things like people being dragged in the bathroom and the killer doing questionable emotes and things like that. It's all just part of the game though. I mean, who cares? Anyway, so that was a good introduction to the Strangler and a perfect example of why the Strangler can be very weak and very powerful all at the same time. I think he's a very... don't listen to the forums. I think he's a very good, balanced character. Or at least he is now. Perhaps there were posts right when he released that said he was completely redonkulous. And I could see that. I don't know. But he seems like he's been tweaked enough now. He's fine. So... I think mostly what it is just people don't like the feeling of being helpless. Like helplessly getting dragged around by this chain and unable to really do anything. And that's fair. That's just in a 5v1 game, I think that just has to happen. You have to have a character that can completely incapacitate another a survivor as kind of their tool, their ability. So, because if they didn't, I mean, I don't know how else. Why would the Strangler be good, right? Like, what would the Strangler do? Like, what, would he just throw his chain out and maybe do, like, 20 damage when he hit people or something? That would be dumb. So, yeah, I think the Strangler's good. I think all the characters are pretty good, to be honest. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and they all have counterplay, to a degree. The Slasher really doesn't have much counterplay, but that's because the Slasher is bad. And what I mean by counterplay is, your counterplay is just run away because he can't catch you. I don't really know what the advantage of the Slasher is. He's slow. He doesn't really seem to have any interesting abilities. I think people just play him because sometimes, like, he's kind of an all-average killer. I think he does a decent amount of damage with the axe. I don't know. I should really look up, like, what does the Slayer do, or Slasher do? Maybe I can get on the last year wiki. Oh, the last year wiki. Did I say this already? The wiki is confusing. Half the information on the wiki is just not there. Oh shoot, I clicked on Wikipedia's wiki, not the last year wiki. So, like, information on spells is just not on the wiki. You can find the spell names, but it doesn't even say what they do, or let alone statistics or anything like that. And a lot of the information on this wiki is outdated. It's pointing back to the Discord release. So you'll frequently find weird pieces of information that don't make any sense. Okay. It says his abilities are when the slasher has no secondary ability, he makes up for it by dealing the most damage out of the 3 killers and has a moderate amount of health as well. Okay, so he just deals the most damage, but he doesn't have a secondary ability. Which is why I didn't know what it was, because he doesn't have one. Yeah. There's not even, like, speed listed, because I know certain, like, the spider is the fastest. In fact, the spider will catch up to, survivors if they're not sprinting. The spider can be really hard to get away from during a prolonged chase. Because unlike the giant will beat a survivor in a sprint, in a straight line. But obviously, we saw earlier we were able to escape over the stairwell because the giant can't navigate turns very easily. Whereas the spider won't win in a straight line sprint, but they will win over a prolonged period of time. So if the spider player wants to tunnel in on one character, they'll probably catch up, which I think is fair. I think it's an interesting distinction. Again, different from all the other killers, which kind of makes up for the fact that the spider's field of vision is really low to the ground. Did I say survivor or spider? The spider's field of vision is very low to the ground, and so that the counterplay is trying to jump. So you jump away from the spider's field of vision, and try and do things like jumping on top of desks to get away from it, which is kind of what you would do if a giant spider was coming at you, you know? So I think it's pretty good. I think the slash is a little boring, but all in all, the killers are all distinct, and they have neat little things you can do to get away from them. Spider's definitely the hardest, though. In if the killer wants to tunnel on you, you better hope you have your team with you, because you're not going to get away. It's a little bit like the Strangler, except it takes a lot of the spider's time to get you if you're optimizing how you're running away. So it's more of a time investment, whereas the Strangler's just going to throw their chain out and immediately get you, and then throw you into a trap. We didn't see it in that game, but that's really what makes the Strangler lethal, is what happens is the Strangler lays down a trap, pops out of Predator mode, chains you, pushes you into the trap, and then just chains you again and you die. Or just attacks you and you die. So here's a good example of sometimes when it can take a little while to find a game. But what was that, like 2-3 minutes? Tops? Oh no. 2-minute queue time, 3-minute queue time. Back in my day, I used to play StarCraft. My queue times were horrible. Oh wait, I thought we clicked medic. No, I don't know how to play assault. Did two people choose medic? Oh gosh. All right, guys, we're gonna do a baptism by fire assault tutorial. Okay, so normal characters will deal 5 damage by punching, right, like that. As assault, you almost never want to punch. Pretty pointless, because you have this pipe. This pipe deals 15 damage. Definitely more useful. Kills the little spiders in 1 hit. And 15 might not sound like a lot when you're fighting a killer, but it means a world of difference. You're essentially dealing 300% more damage to the killer than the medic is going to do with their fist, right? The disadvantage is, well, oh, there's a trap, so there's probably someone over there. Ooh, that was a chain. Shoot, we're separated, and the Strangler's coming after us. So we need to find the party. Oh crap! He's isolating us. He's using the traps. We need to stay away. Yeah, okay, here it is. He's gonna drag us over to the trap and push us into it. Oh, luckily Chad is trying to be a bro. Ah, but there it is. Yeah. Oh, Chad picked us up. Wow, the team came back. I'm actually really surprised about that. Okay. And Chad is healing us. We're going to go back and try and make sure Troy is okay. Where are they? Oh, shoot. They got Troy. I'm a bad assault. Okay. So they did come back and save us. That's the only reason we're alive right now. So now that we know it's the Strangler, we can't go off on our own. We have to... Yeah. I shouldn't have taken that time to destroy the traps. Although because the traps are gone, we are going to be able to escape from the Strangler. Because he can't immediately push us into a trap. Although, yeah, that's going to happen. So what I think he did there is we left his field of vision. He went into Predator mode, skipped the parts of the hedge maze that we had to run through, spawned in, and just immediately chained us and killed us. I think this is a pretty good Strangler, just based on the way he was zoning us. Oh yeah, look at that. Medic was already chosen. Shoot. I'm bad at assault. I don't know how else to put it. We'll go ahead and keep playing assault, but I'm bad at assault. So you can see here the team has a lot better chance because all these guys are grouped up. And this Strangler is doing a good job. This Strangler was doing exactly what he should have been doing. He isolated the party, me, and then picked us off one by one. I'm surprised... Yeah, I was gonna say, I was surprised that the Strangler hadn't killed someone yet. Wow, he's trying to run the medic out of charges by pushing Amber into the corner there. Wow, and we got him. That was kind of a little glitchy on the part of the killer. The killer's probably very frustrated there. Because what happened is Amber was in a corner, and the medic was healing her, and the killer was just using his basic attack over and over, trying desperately to knock Amber down, but the medic kept healing Amber and picking her back up. So then the Strangler just swapped over to his melee attack, probably hoping to run the medic out of healing charges but didn't matter. So the killer could never do his kill move, and therefore couldn't escape and was getting hit by Chad that entire time. So, interesting stuff. So, oh gosh. Alright, time to talk about spider kill spots. So I was about to say, now that the Strangler is off the table, we're safe to walk around. And we kind of are. Except spider kill spots. So the spider... Let's go over all the kill spots real quick. Slasher pops out of skylights. So if you're worried about Slasher's kill spots, you need to look up and try and find... the skylights and avoid them. Strangler kill spots are these vents along the bottom of a wall, and what he does is you walk past him and he throws out the chain and pulls you into the vent. Looks like we're being rescued. Giant kill spots are random spots on the wall that he can bust through. They're typically spots on the wall that just have no other detail. So, if you see a blank space on the wall like that, is probably a giant kill spot. Would be my guess. They're blank spots on the wall. And the spider kill spots are the hardest to keep track of because they are just blank, empty spaces on the floor. It's pretty rough. And as you saw there, we were just running. I think... Where were we running? It was like right there, right? That was a spider kill spot, I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's not a... Interesting. That was just... Earlier, when I thought that was a proximity mine, that wasn't a proximity mine at all. That was just a, just a broken spawn point. Okay, so what we're gonna do... Oh, crap. I was gonna say, we're gonna craft... This guy's good. This killer is good. We're gonna craft a football helmet. Football helmet is typically the bread and butter of the Assault class. Assault can't heal. All the other classes can heal in some way or another. The Assault cannot. However, what they do is... What is he doing? Oh, I see. He was killing... what's his name? Oh boy, we just took a face full of acid there. I'm really bad at Assault. I should clarify that again. Anyway, so the Assault can't heal, but they can put on a football helmet. The football helmet gives you an effective extra 50 health, which is a neat way of doing it. It makes all the healing in the game unique. So medics heal, or, well, no, they do heal. They heal with the medkit, obviously. Scouts inject themselves and heal 15 HP at a time with a very cheap craftable item. Technicians take pills. They build pills and take pills, which heal them, I believe, 100 HP, but it's slowly over time. And then, of course, the Assault doesn't heal, but they give themselves extra HP. Did they kill the spider? Is that what happened here? Go to free camera. No, I don't see the corpse. This killer's good, though. So it's a combination of us not getting the class that I'm used to getting to play, and this killer being good, that is leading to a bad time for us. I think we're probably just dead here. I think Troy knows it. He's just gonna sit here and let the killer get him. Yeah. And at this point, the spider's just messing with Troy. He just keeps spawning in and spitting acid at him. Spider's not... this is the spider playing with his food. The spider's not going to let Amber escape here. Yeah. So Troy will stand up with 35 HP. Oh, my mistake. If you stick around in the acid, I guess you just die. Whew. Overall, that was a pretty good killer. Obviously, I'm not a killer pro, so I couldn't tell you if that was a master killer, but definitely better than your average killer. Or at least... Again, I don't know the skill ranges of killers very well, because it's hard for me to know when a killer is making good moves and when they're just maybe getting lucky. I don't know. I don't think that killer was getting lucky. I think he was very purposefully playing the game in an intelligent way. Anyway, the other craftables for the assault are the baseball bat, which does a little more damage than the pipe, although I don't know how much damage. The baseball bat will also break after 9 swings, something like that. They can also craft the Molotov, which is pretty good. Molotov dealing damage over time. Lighting things on fire can light the killer on fire, and which of course, DOT. Their DOT, I think mollies are they're kind of low on the list for a couple reasons. Football helmets are kind of the bread and butter of assault, so you're always going to need to save up for a football helmet first. Also, assaults tend to have the most expensive gear to craft. All their stuff is pretty expensive, so they're not going to have as much scrap as the other players, so they're not going to be crafting a whole lot of things during the game. Lastly, the football helmet theoretically could be given out to everyone. So I guess if you had a super team player assault, they have to craft 4 football helmets before they do anything else. Now, not everyone does that because that's a pain.
First, we find some fuel. After that,
but yeah, and then typically people prefer the bat, and the Molotov is the hardest to use because it requires teamwork. You know, you got to be in a situation where your teammates are going to be smart enough to stay out of the Molotov fire, but also stun the killer long enough so that the DOT fire does its work. Yes, we are checking the toilets here for scrap. Okay, we don't know who the killer is. We have to assume it's going to be the spider. And there's a couple of kill zones. The spider kill zones are very hard to memorize. Like, that's a giant kill zone right there. So we're going to come this way. The kill zones in general are very hard to memorize for the spider and the giant. They're a little easier for the strangler, and they're very easy for the slasher. The slasher has very few of them, because there's just not that many skylights in the game. Anyway, I think somewhere over there is a spider kill zone, I believe. We don't know who the killer is yet. I'm gonna go ahead and take the bullet here. Okay, it's the giant. I heard him. I think we're kind of safe to do this. We're gonna crank this up a little bit. We got to use our ears. The technicians put down a turret, or the technician put down a turret, which is really nice for this spot, because the more you crank this, the more spiders spawn, the little spiders. We do have another medic. Troy's our medic. Amber is our assault. We're gonna go ahead and crank this all the way up. I don't know what the killer is doing. I heard him. I don't see him though. I guess that's that. I guess we just have it. Anyway, that turret is super helpful when you're doing that part. We're gonna go ahead and craft our shocker. And now there was fuel over there. One of the party members already grabbed it. Now this is a spider kill zone. So if you're fighting spider, you never want to walk the fuel through there. This right there is also a spider kill zone. And the only way you can memorize where these kill zones are is just die to them. I don't have better advice for you. It's frustrating. It'll take you a little bit of time. You just gotta work your way through it. If you like, that's a giant kill spot, so I'm gonna stay away from that. Since we know it's the giant.
Not a bad start.
That's also a giant kill spot, so we're gonna stay. Yeah. Oh, come on. I knew that was a giant kill spot. I thought perhaps we could round the corner. I guess I was wrong. That's a little annoying. We knew it was there. We just didn't know how to appropriately get around it. But that right there is the perfect example of the learning curve of the kill zones, because the kill zones can be very frustrating, especially if you are just starting the game out. I think the kill zones actually drive away a lot of players because they don't quite. There almost needs to be a tutorial. Like, I wonder if maybe they should make it so that you have to unlock the classes, because I think almost everyone should start out by playing Scout. Because we haven't gone into it, but Scout, you have a flashlight, a little radar, and it reveals all of the predator spots. So it reveals anything that the killer has trapped with gas. It reveals all of the kill spots. It also tells you if the killer is in a kill spot, because the killer essentially has to go into predator mode, find a kill spot, and enter the kill spot, and then they can immediately kill any survivor who walks through the area. So, yeah, it's a combination of you play as Scout, so that you can actually see the kill spots, and then, yeah, and then it's just a matter of just dying to them enough times so that you memorize where they are. Because you get burned enough times, you're going to know where the kill spots are. And again, I think that drives away newbies. I think that makes newbies really angry, and I can kind of see it happening that way. I was more amused by them. I was more like, oh, that's funny, until I started finding a lot of the spider kill spots, and then I thought it was dumb. I was like, are you kidding me? Because the spiders kill spots are so obnoxious. They're those big ones. So we have a Scout on the team. You can see here, when you have a Scout on the team, they will reveal the information to the entire party. So it's kind of useful to have a Scout around, because you know, and if they're yellow, the circles are yellow like that, means the killer isn't in those kill spots. If it's red, it means they are in them. But yeah. So again, there's a learning curve to it, because you saw there, we knew the giant kill spot where it was. And we knew we were fighting against the giant. So we had those two pieces of information, but it requires that third piece of information. That third piece of information of, okay, how do you get around it? And apparently you can't cut the corner on that kill spot, which you can on a lot of these kill spots. See how that one? That one's a killer, or a slasher kill spot. He'll drop out of the ceiling. But if you kind of inch around the corner here, you're fine. You aren't going to get hit by it. And here we have another kill spot. That's a strangler kill spot. You see the vent there? And there we have it. Strangler just bopped in there and pulled someone in. Now the rules on the kill spots are, once a killer has used a kill spot, they can't use it, I believe, for the rest of the game. Now, we need to be up here, and we need to move this stair thing, this motorized stair vehicle, over there. Now, there are times when you want two people up here, and there are times where you only want one. Because we're fighting against the Strangler, we want two people. In fact, we want all four people up here, like this. Because what's going to happen is if one of us gets grabbed by the Strangler, hopefully one of the party members will grab and save us. Oh, great. And they're going to go rescue. I don't know if that's the right call. See, now that we're alone here, I don't want to be up there. I don't want to be moving the stair car. Oh, shoot. Amber got grabbed, so we need to save her. Okay, so the Strangler, obviously... I'm just trying to heal her. Oh my gosh, that's annoying. I wanted to heal her, but, like, the symbol never appeared. That's super frustrating. Okay, so we disarmed two of the traps there, so he can't push us into traps anymore. Which means we can just, even if we're grabbed like that, we can just run away. Strangler can't one-shot kill you if he doesn't have traps. Shoot! No. He was on low. Ah, I didn't realize his health was so low. So we're in a very bad spot here. Although, it looks like they were successful in saving that one person. So we're going to try and heal our team. I didn't realize Troy was almost dead. He should have healed himself. He shouldn't have been healing me. Because I think he was a medic, wasn't he? Or no, this Troy's a medic. Unless he's an engineer. Okay, we have a lot of traps here. We're at the mercy of our party saving us. If our party doesn't save us, we're just dead. Troy was a bro and came and rescued us. Now we're going to heal ourselves, because if we don't heal ourselves, we're a liability. There we go. You see... Oh, come on. That's annoying. We rescued her, but like it glitched and she... Okay, that's an interesting interaction. We're going to try and run away. We're almost dead. Again, we're a liability if we die. If we die, the Strangler... Ooh. We can maybe rescue this guy? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to let her rescue... Okay, yeah. Only because our health is lower? Okay, shit. We don't... Sadly, we didn't have enough time to run over and open that door. Yeah. We're kind of dead. Like, he doesn't have a trap, but once you drop below 35 HP, he can do the insta-kill. So. Not sure what's happening here. Oh, it looks like 2 of them are down. Nice! They killed him. We still have a chance. It's not an amazing chance, but we still have a chance. Anyway, what I was trying to say about that stair car was that, yeah, if you're fighting the Strangler, I don't think we should have left. I think the moment, if you notice, the moment we split up, the moment one of the Troys, I can't remember which one, ran over and went to go rescue that person was the moment the Strangler got us, because we split up. And at that point, he was just picking us off. We couldn't fight him back. It kind of worked out, but now we're down 2 people. Whereas if we had just stayed on the stair car, we could have completed the objective, and we would have only been down 1 person. So yeah, Strangler, you want everyone up here so that the Strangler can't pick you off. That's actually really funny. Where did that guy come from? It looks like he spawned in up here and just jumped off. That's funny. That's interesting. I didn't even know the killer could do that. That makes sense. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, if you're fighting the spider, however, you only want 1 person up here. Because what's going to happen is the spider is just going to spit acid at everyone. And they are so happy when the team is grouped up like that on that little itty-bitty platform. Oh, yeah. Spider is a happy camper when that happens. Giant, no one really plays Giant on the stair car part. And that's because the Giant really can't do anything. Or at least not enough to make the stair car part scary for the Giant. Or for the survivors. Giant can't make the stair car part scary for the survivors. Although the Giant is good at just walking up onto the stair car platform and just kind of standing there and saying, "Come at me." But typically the party will just kill him. Slasher is an interesting pick. I guess the Slasher's advantage is you can jump off there and fall down and land on people pretty easily. I don't know. Slasher just seems like an odd pick overall. Okay, we're out of medkit charges. We're kind of just a body at this point, so we're gonna get out of everyone's way. We're actually gonna go and grab some scrap. It's times like this where it is okay to let your party do stuff. Party's got the killer's attention. We were out of medkit charges. Totally rational for us to run away, find some scrap, because punching the killer isn't really that useful. It only deals 5 damage, and body blocking is a very big thing in this game. If you body block your party, they have less room to move. If someone needs to run away really quickly, they're not going to be able to run away. Yeah, so if you don't have a very good reason to be somewhere, you just shouldn't be there. Now the Slasher, I'm not afraid of the Slasher. I'm not afraid of going alone against the Slasher. So we were going to go rescue that guy, but it looks like Troy already rescued him. Or something. Phil. Come on, Phil. Anyway, we're kind of running circles around, biding our time. This is why I think the Slasher is bad. Because none of us are worried about the Slasher. Yeah, he deals a lot of damage, but he can't isolate us. He doesn't get a bonus for when we're grouped up, and we did exactly what we needed to do here. We waited until everyone was rescued, we killed the killer, and now we 99'd the gate, and pretty much all we need to do now is just run to the exit. Little glitchy there. I don't know what's going on. We're just gonna... And the body blocking can be really real here. It might seem selfish to escape, even though we're the medic. You might think, oh, we should stick around to heal people. No. Just run. Just run. Don't even worry about it. Killer's spending time respawning and resetting up. It's fine. That leads to our first 5-man escape, which is pretty good. We did not play particularly well that game, but our team was not playing dumb. Which is nice. Really, the team definitely carried us on that one because they 99'd the crank. They went out and rescued it. I think the only mistake they made is when one of the Troys went off to rescue somebody when we were on the stair car, and I think that was a big mistake. Because that led to 2 of us dying. I think we should have just stayed up there, but looks like we still have enough time for another game. The wife's out. That's when I can do my best recording. Well, best recording. It's when I can record without having to worry about getting in her way. I asked her to text me when she's coming back. She's going out, having fun with Pokemon Go. I wouldn't call her a Pokemon Go fanatic, but she's very consistent with it. She loves just going out and taking super long walks with her, one of her best friends, and they go out and just catch a bunch of things. It's really neat to watch her do it. Just because her Pokedex is quite full. She doesn't play it competitively, although she has some pretty strong Pokemon. So, when I play with her, when we go out, she's all like, "Oh, hey, Ian. Who's Ian? Chezni." She's all like, "Oh, hey, Chezni. You know, like, do you mind if we go kill this gym or fight this Team Rocket guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then, like, she's defeating everything, like all 6 of the gym monsters on her own, and I've got like this little piddly thing that I'm like barely assisting with. All of my Pokemon are dying. Her level 6,000 Mewtwo is just one-shotting everything. It's pretty funny. Anyway, that's where she is now, so we're kind of at the, I don't know, this might be the last game. I assume she'd be back by now, but whatever. More last year. Well, wow, actually recording this, getting to talk about all the mechanics. There's still mechanics we haven't gone into. The trapdoors, if you can barricade the trapdoors as Technician. I think you can crouch over the trapdoors and it won't trigger them. Crouching is key with the survivors, and I love that, because what it is, it's both a simulated and mechanical way to act as if the survivors are taking their time and moving carefully. It's mechanical because the survivor playing has to stop and think, "Oh, I should crouch." It's simulated because your character moves slower while they're crouching. So yeah, this is a really good idea. Crouching gets you through smoke bombs. It gets you through, I'm pretty sure it gets you through trapdoors. It gets you through traps without triggering them. It does not affect kill spots, as far as I know, though. You're still gonna get one shot through a kill spot. Okay, so we're in big trouble right now if the killer is the Strangler, because we're isolated. But I'm feeling pretty confident about any other killer, and that's kind of the gamble I always prefer to take. There are 4 killers, right? So I feel like you have a 1 in 4 chance. A 1 in 4 chance that the killer is going to be the Strangler. In my opinion, if you're playing killer, I feel like Strangler should almost always be your first killer, unless you're doing the Gymnasium, and then it should be either the Giant or the Spider. Probably the Spider, because the Gymnasium starts out and the party is very bunched up, because you're in this small indoor location. Still haven't heard the killer, so I don't know who the killer is.
Are we still looking for those discs?
They might have run into him by now. I would assume they've ran into him by now. Okay, we're gonna group up. We got plenty of scrap. We crafted our taser. We're gonna try to, maybe we'll actually use the taser this time. I feel like every time we've crafted it, we've just died. Oh, sounds like the killer is here. The music cue changed. What's going on? Where is he? Oh, it is Spider. Okay. I'm not too worried about Spider on this map. We're gonna go ahead and heal our Assault. We're gonna try and keep our Assault healed up and let her do her work. Okay, the Spider smartly is going after us. Yeah, this is bad. That's unfortunate. Spider got a lot of good hits there. We were really trying to vault. Yes. What we were trying to do is we were really trying to vault the... Let me just zoom out here. We're trying to vault the... best case scenario is we jump onto these trash cans, jump over here, and run down the stairs. Unfortunately, the Spider is also the widest killer and is very good at body blocking. So what they did is they come over here and kind of body blocked us in the corner while we were healing the medic. Because we were over here. We were healing the Assault, not the medic. We were healing Assault. And then as we were healing her, we got kind of shoved into this corner. Arguably, that was on us. We should have played that better. So I don't want to say like it was unfair or like something like that, because it definitely wasn't. Okay, so that was the spider going into predator mode. We see that green puff of smoke. That's them going into predator mode. And that's what lets them... It lets them move around kind of like the free camera that we were just using there. Except I think they can move through walls. Or certain walls. Something like that. Man, again, we did not get to use the shocker. Wow, and that spider is going straight for us. Or at least was. Okay, we really want to keep everyone healed here. Yeah, we're taking that acid damage. Nice. So it looks like... I don't know why I walked into the acid there. Looks like the assault managed to kill the spider. Very good. This assault seems to know what she's doing. Again, I think it was more our fault that we died, which is unfortunate because, again, nearly the biggest advantage that the killer gets out of killing someone is a free get-out-of-jail free card. I don't know why I said free twice. They get a get-out-of-jail free card because not only are they invincible, then they immediately jump into predator mode. So that was really unfortunate because that was kind of a bad spot earlier when we died. That was kind of a bad spot for the spider. We have 3 of us all grouped up in there. Now that made it a good spot because the acid was going to do good damage. But we had an assault and a medic. There was closed quarters. That spider was definitely not escaping anytime soon. And if I had lived longer, the assault really could have done more work. Assault was at full health. Crap, we need to get in here and save her. I'm going to take this time to disarm this trap, because that really weakens the strangler. Nice! And again, you see there, the strangler, really bad choice when the party's grouped up. I really feel like the killer should have swapped the order there. They should have done strangler first, spider second. We're really low on health.
Seems to be stuck in a single stage of decay. Strange.
Anyway, that's more of Nick's lines there. Nick kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit. He'll mention, like, if you use the medkit a bunch, he'll say something about magical healing properties of this dimension or something. He also mentioned he said earlier, stuck in a strange state of permanent decay, in reference to the fact that the dead body leaning up against the wall is just always dead and decaying there. It never changes. Okay, looks like we're dealing with a giant. I'm not really afraid of the giant here. I don't really think the giant is particularly strong or weak here. In fact, I would say it's a little bit weak because okay, he's gonna charge. So we got body blocked. We would have been completely fine there, but we got body blocked by Amber, and then we got thrown off here. Anyway, yeah, I really feel like the giant is weak here, or weaker more than he's stronger. Largely because of all the twists and turns. We were running this direction. What we're going to do is we're just going to vault over there like that. Take a little bit of damage, of course, but better than getting grabbed by the giant. But because we got bounced by Amber, we weren't able to do that. It was actually kind of stupid of me to jump down and show what we would have done, but we took that damage. Anyway, this is a good choke point for the killer. Very good choke point for the killer. In fact, because our HP is a little low, hopefully they'll 90... Well, we might not even need to 99 it. We might just go for it. Or we might be able to just kill the spider here, and then we'll go for it. I'm going to sneak around behind and zap the spider. Okay. However, they didn't 99 the gate, which is unfortunate, because I think I might have just left our assault to die. I'm not sure. This escape spot is really tricky. It's really easy to get body blocked by your party because you have to make that jump right there. And this spot has a bunch of spiders, and it's really easy for the killer to puppy guard this location. As you see here, we're just bouncing off of Troy there. We were getting in each other's way. It's really not... It's a... Oh, wow! She escaped! Oh, there's a smoke bomb. Oh, she's not going to be able to make it through the spider, though. I feel really bad for leaving Sam alone there. She made it! I don't know what the spider was doing there. Yeah, I felt really bad for leaving Sam there, but I felt like there was nothing more we could really do, and we needed to run. I shocked the spider to give everyone a chance to run. I didn't expect the assault to run in and charge and fight. In a way, that was probably what she should have done, but the whole team should have jumped in on it at that point. We just should have killed the spider right there. But instead, everyone but Sam and I ran, and so at that point, it was a bad investment, and we just had to leave. But apparently it didn't matter because Sam made it out. I don't know why the spider was just sitting there. Really should have tried to kill Sam, shot Acid. Maybe Acid was on cooldown, but still. Didn't do a very good job of puppy guarding the exit. Somebody threw a smoke bomb. I guess to the spider's credit, he couldn't have been that much far up forward because the smoke was preventing him from doing anything. But I don't know why he was like looking in the opposite direction that Sam has to come from. That library part is really rough just because the survivors have to go through that really tight maze of columns and shelves, and there's all of those itty-bitty spiders there. It's I think it's probably the hardest exit spot, even though it's in a way the shortest, because unlike the bell tower, you can't fall off, or at least if you fall off, you're not going to take damage when you fall off the shelves. And unlike the gymnasium, same story, you're not all the way up in the rafters, so you can't fall off. Anyway. Yeah, overall that was pretty good. I'm hitting puberty there. I think if we had been, if that team had been on Skype or something, I would have suggested that we, that instead we kill the spider and then, like, we 99 the crank, kill the spider and then leave. I guess that had the danger though that somebody might have died. Then we would have been delayed even longer, and I don't know. It worked out at the end, so who cares? But yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot going on there. A lot of pieces all being put together. And wasn't that so much more fun than Dead by Daylight? You know, we don't have some douchey like they're called survivors, right? In Dead by Daylight, you know, some douchey survivor palette looping ad infinitum. You don't like. I don't know. It's not douchey. It's how the game is meant to be played. But I feel like in Dead by Daylight, the game is played on a knife's edge the entire game, and this one I don't really feel like it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'd feel differently if I was playing Killer, but I feel like the Killer has just as much chance of winning or losing at any stage of the game as the survivors do. Whereas in Dead by Daylight, I feel like right from the beginning, the Killer is at a disadvantage. And they're desperately trying to hunt down these 4 idiots who are running around. And as the Killer in Dead by Daylight, you're incentivized to just remove one person from the game at a time. Because mechanically, the way it works is the difference between 3 survivors and 4 is insane! And survivors permanently die in Dead by Daylight, if they get hooked 3 times, obviously. Whereas in this one, it's like, it's not a big deal. You don't have to go through this frustrating experience of hooking someone 3 times and tunneling in on them and basically removing them from the game. Like, in Dead by Daylight, there's a lot more of, you're not allowed to play the game, get out. And that doesn't exist in last year. Even, I would say if there's only 1 survivor, yeah, that survivor's probably dead. But even if there's just 2 survivors, or 3, yeah, their chances are lower of actually making it out alive. But there's always that chance that they'll be able to rush in and rescue their friends. But same way, the Killer still has a really good chance of picking them off one at a time. Yeah, I just feel like the back and forth is so much more satisfying in this game. A single survivor poses basically no threat to a Killer, unlike Dead by Daylight, which has been accused of the game that is bully with friends, right? Dead by Daylight, bully with... yeah, I think that's what it's called. Because the survive with friends... The problem in Dead by Daylight is if you're playing against randos and you're a decent killer, I was a decent killer, not amazing, but you know, after 120 hours, I learned enough about the game that it took a coordinated survivor group to win against me. And admittedly, I just played Spirit the entire time. I didn't play any other killers really, except to goof off if I wanted to blow off steam or something. But oh gosh, where was I going with this? Ooh, that's trapped. All right, let's test. Can you crawl over? No. Okay, so that was fake. Or not. My information was wrong. When I said you could crawl over a trapped vent, I guess that was wrong. You cannot crawl over a trapped vent.
Enjoyed the ground. I could really use some help.
No, stay away. I thought we were good. That's okay. Lesson learned, don't crawl over a trapped vent. In fact, I'm going to say that in chat so that the scout doesn't think we're an idiot.
Somebody grab it.
Anyway, so, but yeah, at no point in this game does it really ever feel like one side or the other is just saying, get out, you're not allowed to play, get out, you're not good enough, you're not amazing. And Dead by Daylight typically is just very one-sided. It's usually one-sided for the killer, or it's one-sided for the survivor. Very rarely do you get a good, solid game. And playing as the killer is fun. I've already made that clear. I don't like playing Survivor. I think it's pointless to play Survivor in Dead by Daylight. I'm amazed that so many people play Survivor. It seems like the most boring experience of anyone's life. Mouse 1 Simulator is not the game I prefer playing. However, shoot, I lost my train of thought. Mouse 1 Simulator, Dead by Daylight. But typically the way it goes is that, like, one side or the other is... Oh, I remember. Okay, so when you play Killer in Dead by Daylight, which, again, is my favorite role to play, I don't really feel like the killer. I feel like I'm actually the victim. I feel like I'm a unicorn or something that's, you know, like a rare thing that people are hunting, because I always feel weaker than the survivors, and it's because of the way the game is played. The game in Dead by Daylight is dictated by the survivors, whereas, I don't know, maybe if this game became popular enough, there would be good enough coordinated teams that played regularly that also dictated, but I just don't think the game would quite be played. I don't know. I probably shouldn't say that, because I bet if people broke down this game enough so that they learned it to the degree that people have studied and learned Dead by Daylight, maybe the survivors would dictate last year. But as it stands now, I feel like the back and forth is really good. And I know I was babbling, and it was mostly just because we died really early in that match, and unfortunately that was partially because we learned that crawling over a vent triggers it, and so we basically gave away a free kill to the Strangler, which was not good. Anyway, we'll go ahead and focus a little more on winning this time. I do like the healing hands perk. I think it's good. It was like an extra 4 or 5 HP per charge, which is either a 40 or 50% increase in efficiency of the medkit. It only costs 250 coins. I'm okay with that. That's a cheap buy. That's a good use. Gosh, these are expensive, especially the 8,000s. Oh, disconnecting. Okay. I mean, and this is kind of the kind of stuff you deal with any multiplayer game, right? You're always going to have disconnects. People like to get on the forums of last year and say that the queue times are outrageous and the game is a bug-riddled mess. They were over-exaggerating. As long as your computer can run the game, there really isn't any... the game is fine. It's no different, it's no better or worse really than any other game that isn't being produced by a AAA company that, like Blizzard. Like, obviously Blizzard's queues are amazing, but they've had the last 20 years to do it. I think I need to reset my mech. Hang on. You were probably like, oh my gosh, Chezni, shut up for 5 seconds. Holy crap, it sounds amazing. On occasion, my mic does desync, so I have to activate it and deactivate it, deactivate it to let it catch up a little bit. Oh, wow. So much to go over, but I think we're finally kind of getting to the end of the base mechanics. Or should I say all of the mechanics? Or at least the majority of them, for sure.
Then we gotta get the doors open. We need to get some gears to get them moving again.
Okay, so bell tower level. I never know what to do at the beginning of a bell tower level. I feel like those... Like, do we rush the propane? We're the medic, right? Maybe we should stick around with the assault. I mean, crafting a taser is nice, but it's not, like, game-changing, right? Or at least not, not in the same way. Oh. Alright, looks like the wife's heading back. So there will probably be a moment where I'm gonna need to stop talking and deactivate the mic. But I'll go ahead and play this one out. Maybe if I'm not babbling constantly, I'll play a little better. At any rate, because I have no way of predicting exactly when she'll come through the door, I will give you the send-off early. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed last year. I hope this was at least a tutorial for those of you who don't know how to play the game, or playing the game is new to you. And if this piqued your interest, hopefully gives you enough information that you'd be able to have a smoother learning curve if you're interested in playing last year. I really do recommend it. It's very cheap for what is essentially a pretty polished product overall. Yeah, the connections can be a little spotty. It's a little jumpy, like I said. You know, that's kind of the first pill you have to swallow, is dealing with sort of weird, jumpy connections that are just a normal part of the game. But as you've seen, we've been able to play through, and it's just fine. I don't like this. We're playing against the Strangler, and these guys should be flanking me. I can't do anything. We can't run while we're carrying this. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. It's like $20 on Steam. It is not expensive. There isn't DLC for the game. You don't need to buy characters. You start out with everything. And the Arcanum is more for fun and less like, oh, unless you have this specific skill unlocked in the Arcanum, you're going to lose. It's not like that. You just play the game. But I will also say that if this gameplay loop that you've seen here doesn't interest you, this is the extent of the game. It's not super complicated. You don't need to grind for 20 years to get stuff. You know, it's not StarCraft. You're not gonna spend years mastering the art. But overall, it's just a solid game. So I think I'm gonna shut off my mic there. But I will continue and play this match out to the end. Who knows how it'll go. So again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Watch out for Stranglers.
Went out like a punk! That the blowtorch over there? Ooh, let's get it.
It's your friend Sam! I'll save you!
Much appreciated.
Me a C+ in shop. Watch this. Well, looky here. I made an ass kicker. Slave power. Fuck yeah, let's go!
Totally what I needed.
I have the torch! Let's get to the door.
Hi there, Rat.
Any last words? I can help. I want to go to vet school.
A few necessary components.
This would come in handy.
Booyah! How you like me now?
Next stop, shuttle. Let's get a move on.
You'll feel better in just a second. Go, and now we run. On guard. I shall vanquish you.
Hey, asshole! Over here! Want some of this? I use this shit like you.
Too bad. Believe I wasted my time on you. Got a bandage if you need.
might be trapped in a nightmare, but at least we get to learn about simple machines. Let's find that gear. Perfect. Get ready to watch genius at work.
We stick together, okay?
Thanks for the help, no one.
Watch what I turn this shit into.
Now this is it. My mom taught me a couple things. Watch what I do. Oh, I am so recognized. That freak won't know what hit him.
You don't want to do this! Consider not killing him. You wouldn't kill a guy with glasses.
What the hell?
Guys, I'm not scared.
Put me down! Put me down!
I'm getting the door. Don't be scared.